All right, let's bring out our next person, Jeremy. Let's put our hands together for him.
Hey, thanks, Hector. Um, what's up, guys? My name is Jeremy Mateo. I'm 27 years old, and the main topics that I want to talk about with you guys in my story is social media. A lot of my success I got from social media, so I'm going to start by saying feel free to video, take picture, put it on your story, and tag me at the Jeremy Mateo. And by feel free, I mean please do it. But anyway, yeah, so I started real estate as a real estate agent in 2014. And from 2014 to 2020, I was just focused on being an agent. My mom was a real estate agent, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna do this, be an agent, get my broker's license, and just follow that route. Then, 2020 happened, the pandemic happened, and I bought my first condo, and my mortgage at the time plus maintenance fee was 3,800. Hawaii's expensive. It's a one-bedroom condo. Um, but that happened the next day, or the next weekend after I closed on my condo. COVID happened, Hawaii shuts down, I don't sell a house for 2 months, and I'm starting to shit bricks now. And at that point, I started to think, okay, how can I, get in front of people's faces? How can I get more clients? How can I do more marketing? And that's when I thought, okay, I gotta make a YouTube channel. Up until that point, I was just using Instagram. I was using Instagram to market myself, to find new clients, to get people to find me, and it was working. But I was like, okay, I need to step it up. And when I started doing YouTube, that's when I found people like Graham Stephan, when I started watching Ryan's videos. And while I'm making videos, I'm also going down the rabbit hole and observing other people's YouTube videos. And that's when I started to get the bug about, oh, what is this flipping thing, I was just a real estate agent, but now there's people buying these houses and then making a lot of profit. I mean, as an agent, you're only making 2.5 to 3% commission. And it's at this point where I have friends like Zasha and Stacy who are in my markets, and I'm seeing them doing this crazy thing called a flip. And I remember I met Stacy when I was a young agent, and she's like, I'm gonna flip houses. And I'm like, how are you gonna buy it? Show me your proof of funds, because I was trying to be your agent. And she's like, oh, I'm using other people's money. And at that point, I just had self-limiting beliefs. And I was like, that's crazy. Only rich people can flip houses, especially in high dollar markets such as Hawaii. It's like, who's gonna lend me money? Who's gonna lend me $1 million to flip a house? I don't even wanna lend my friends money, But then I started learning from YouTube videos, from social media, from other investors on social media. And the more I watched them, the more I followed them, the more I learned. And so then I was like, all right, what I gotta do? And that's when I met Stacy introduced me to Alex Camacho. He's also an all-star flipper. And we were on a booze cruise in Hawaii. If you guys notice, Hawaii people like to drink. But he told me the best advice that I ever got. And this advice literally changed my life, and I want to share it with you guys. I told him, like, yeah, dude, I want to flip houses, but not in Hawaii because it's too expensive. I'll probably flip in Vegas or on the East Coast. And he told me, Jeremy, don't worry about finding the money. Worry about finding the deal. Because if you find the deal, the money will come. And when he said that, it blew my mind. It was so simple. But I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna lean into this advice. And I think one of my, strengths is being an instant implementer. When someone gives me advice, I'm just gonna do it. So I thought, okay, what can I do? How can I find deals? I don't know how to find deals. So I used the strategies I used as a real estate agent and applied it to being an investor. And that was just going on my social media, going on Instagram, and literally I would just post on my story, hey, does anyone know anyone that is trying to sell a house that is vacant, that is run down, or that they just don't want it? I post that on my story every single day for like 2 months, and then in March of 2020, I found my first deal. It was through social media. Some random person who wasn't even following me messaged me saying, hey, Jeremy, my friend told me about your story. My aunt's trying to sell her home. It's really bad, damaged, and abandoned. I'm like, oh my God, perfect. I went to go to see the house. It was beautiful. Well, by beautiful, I mean it was like a shithole, but it was like a beautiful deal. I bought it for $540, and when I wrote the offer, I said, okay, I'm gonna buy this $540 cash. I had no idea how I was gonna find the money, but I found the good deal. And I remember Alex's advice saying, don't worry about finding the money. And sure enough, I found hard money lenders, and they're like, okay, cool, Jeremy, we can fund this deal. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're gonna fund everything, right? And they're like, oh no, we're gonna fund 75%. You got to come up with 25%. I'm like, okay, cool. But I didn't know how I was gonna get the 25%. That was about like $160,000. So sure enough, I called up two of my best friends who, one is an engineer, one is a financial advisor. I'm like, yo, you guys want to flip a house with me? I need $57,000. And luckily, my friends are really cool. They're really down, and they really want to, they like investments, and they're like, yeah, we're down. So we split $57,000 each, put $80,000 into the rehab. We sold it at $795. We made $72,000 in profit for my first deal. Split that three ways, that's $24,000 each person. And since I'm a realtor, I listed it, and I got an extra $15,000. So at that point, I'm like, wow, this is cool. And keep in mind, at this point, I'm not in Future Flipper. Before, I kind of had like an ego, and I was like, yeah, I'm a realtor. I've been a real estate agent. Like, I don't need some coaching. So that's why I didn't really join in the first place. And then, so we're still going on. Now we're in my second deal. I found the second deal while I was doing the first deal. And at this point, I'm still trying to figure things out on my own, kind of like Zasha, She said she just wanted to just figure it out by herself. So I'm like, I can do this. I don't need coaching, I don't need any of this. I got YouTube. And then all my money is tied up into my first deal. And this second deal comes in, again, through social media. I saw someone on Facebook post about this deal. Hey, we're selling this. It's from a wholesaler. For $810, it has like minimal rehab, and you could sell it for like $940. I'm like, okay, I check it out. It's an awesome deal. But the thing is, they want $5,000 as your EMD. My bank account was literally like $5,800. But I knew it was such a good deal that I didn't want to pass it up. So me being a risk taker, I wrote a $5,000 check for the EMD, and that was my last $5,000. But I knew it was such a good deal that it was going to be worth it. So I had to like sell stocks to pay for my mortgage. It was really crazy. I couldn't sleep much. Fast forward to when I actually bought it, I put $6,000 into the rehab. I sold it. My profit plus commission was $120,000, all from that $5,000 deposit. So yes, it was a good deal. But if we backtrack, did I use my friends again? No, I learned about this thing called private money, which is the gap funding. So now I'm 2 deals deep in my first year, which was last year. I made about $160,000 in profit. And even more so then, like, Jeremy's thinking, hey, yeah, I don't need coaching. I did this by myself. And then something changed. I went to the Mastermind in October, and I just made so many connections. Everyone in this room, I met so many people from different markets with different strategies. I learned so much, and it just instantly clicked in my mind, like, holy crap, I definitely want to join. So the way I thought about it was, okay, this is what I accomplished without coaching in my first year. Let's see what I can accomplish with coaching. So now, fast forward to now, I'm in All-Star, and I have my third deal. My third deal, again, I found it from Instagram. Someone just messaged me saying, hey, I heard you're flipping homes. I think I have a really good deal for you. Backtrack to the first Mastermind in October that I went to. Me and Stacy are on a plane, and someone sends it to me, and I'm checking it out in our layover. We're in San Francisco or something. And I'm going over this deal. I'm like, there's no way. Like, this deal is super good. I show it to Stacy. He's like, yeah, this is super good. And I tell everyone I meet in this Mastermind about this deal. I'm like, should I do it? Should I do it? And they're like, yes, you should definitely take that deal. Fast forward to now, I took the deal. I bought it for $1.3 million. I am going to rehab it for $300,000 in budget. And I'm going to sell it for $2.2 million with $500,000 in profit. And here's the best part. My EMD was $2,000. And since I'm a realtor, I got a commission for $30,000. So I made money buying this deal, and I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have taken this deal if I wasn't surrounded by people in this mastermind encouraging me like, hey, this is a good deal. And it's all, just wrapping everything up is just you have to be able to put yourselves in rooms where you're the smallest fish, where you're the dumbest person there because you have so much room to grow, and there's just so much people to learn from. And that's why, mainly the reason why I joined, because I thought I knew everything, but really I didn't know anything. And on top of that, again, with social media, you tie that into networking, you can meet so many people around the world and you can learn from them all through social media. And why I love these masterminds is like I'm meeting people in person for the first time. But it's like I feel like I've known you because I follow you on Instagram, on Facebook, and everything. So again, just to wrap everything up, if you guys are new, or maybe you're a realtor and you think you know everything, but really you don't, I want you guys to remember, like, hey, you just have to do it. And, don't worry about finding the money. Just worry about finding the deal. Thank you, guys.
Come on. Awesome.